Something that you will see in the next few weeks as well is my first TV review of 2023. No, it's not a singing, all dancing, top of the range luxury TV. It's a 400 quid LCD. But what do you get for 400 quid in terms of an LCD TV now? And I've got to say, I was pleasantly surprised at just the quality that is possible at that price. Now, we're not talking about a main display. We're not talking about something for critical movie viewing or anything like that, because as soon as you mention LCD, there are the traits that technology has that you just can't get around. And, manufacturers have been trying for decades to get around some of the issues. So it does suffer from clouding in dark room viewing because it's edge lit. You are going to see some clouding. You're going to see some dirty screen effect. So that's blotches and so on the screen, especially if there's camera movement and so on, which makes the screen look dirty. That's what we're talking about when we say dirty screen effect. It's that effect of the backlight and the panel. It's something that some do well, some not so well. This Sharp did suffer a little bit from that. But again, these issues can be mitigated quite a bit by just watching the TV in a bright room. And this is what we're talking about. We're talking about a second screen, something for the bedroom, something for the kitchen. It's an Android-based TV, so it runs Android TV Smart System. It has Chromecast. It has all the things you would expect from an Android device on there. It has all the major apps, most of them in 4K HDR as well. It's an HDR TV, but when you're talking 400 quid, you're talking 400 nits and no more than that. The same for all of them. It has Dolby Vision, and this is where Dolby Vision does become valuable, is at this price point, because it does a decent job of tone mapping to that 400 nits. Now, it's not going to be mega bright. It is going to clip quite a bit your bright detail, but at the same time, it gives you a little bit more of a dynamic image than you would get from just watching SDR. So there is that little bit of a boost, but don't expect, massive highlight detail, specular highlight detail, or anything like that. It's just not capable. But again, it's a 400 quid screen. It's very plastic. It's made from plastic. The remote's very plastic. Again, 400 quid TV, so we'll forgive it that. It has a borderless design, a frameless design to it, so it looks really quite neat sitting on the stand. And in terms of color accuracy, it was really quite good out of the box. Grayscale tracking was very good, just under 3 for the majority. There was a few bits that were over 3, but in terms of delta E errors. Again, nothing that at this price point would put you off. Shove it in the movie mode. It did look really quite nice. Obviously, where you are missing out is in the processing. The processing is not quite as good as the more expensive TVs. So upscaling, a little bit of fizziness here and there, a little bit of junk pixels now and again. There is a little bit of trailing on fast-moving objects. But again, these are things that at 400 quid you can forgive a TV at this price point. If it's going to be a second screen TV, it's not something that you're going to be critically watching anyway. So in terms of something that's cheap, cheerful, does the job, offers most of the smart connectivity that you want these days. Lots of the apps are built in there. It's a really decent TV for £400. I really couldn't fault it. There was no major issues, and as long as you go into it with that mindset that it's not going to be perfect at £400, but it's going to give you a certain level of performance, then it's very close to getting a recommendation. It doesn't quite get a recommendation, but it's not a bad TV at all. And when I talk about recommendation, I'm talking about a badge. It scores 7 out of 10. It's a strong TV, and it's not going to hang around at 400 quid. You'll be able. I mean, I looked on the internet and I could see it a lot cheaper than that. So, in terms of a 55-inch screen at that price point, it's from a decent brand that has been rebranded. Obviously, it has been bought out the IP, but it's a strong TV and it has some strong plus points that go for it. So check out the review. The review will be up in a few days.